Hi, welcome everybody. This is Feel Real's non-spoiler review of Transformers: The Last Knight. This movie stars Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Josh Duhamel, and many stellar characters.
This movie basically starts you off with Transformers versus the humans, and the mystery behind it is that Cade Yeager, the main protagonist of the last Transformers movie, is trying to figure out the history of like Earth and how like Transformers are like a part of that, like way back into like the Knights of the Round Table days, and he needs to figure out that history in order to help solve the situation now and to deal with the villain.
So, got to start off with the positive points of this movie. They had many stellar side characters in this movie that really keep the movie laughing and keep the movie going. I feel like that's one of the weak points of the Transformers movies that in the past, where like there were like side characters that you just hated, and it kind of dragged the
movie.
movie.
Of them you just didn't even know about.
Yeah, and it was like the daughter in the last movie, I could not stand. They got rid of her in this one. They did introduce a stronger female character that weren't just dragging the plot along. They were actually part of it, strengthening the actual storyline as it goes. This movie was very funny. Had like a lot of one-liners. Like I enjoyed them all.
And also, like the Transformers themselves were much more like stylized and distinct. So I remember in one of the scenes where Shia LaBeouf is like running through like the pyramids and stuff, and they were like fighting the Transformers. They all just look humanoid and robotic. They just kind of look like just like background like B characters. But this one, like even like the characters who had like the screen time roughly like 5 minutes or so, they all had their unique like kind of like style and thing that you could identify as like, oh, that's like the Berserker Transformer, like, oh, that's the Transformer who's got the mohawk, stuff like that. And like it brought up more of their character, I have to say.
I'd also like to say like this movie had a very not only detailed but very fleshed out storyline, so you weren't questioning it half the time. It does not work well with the continuity of like all of the Transformers before, but within this one movie, it is like they do go to the Knights of the Round Table, they do Merlin's staff, they do history, and it does really well to keep within that storyline, so you're not really confused. You kind of have to let everything go before, because Megatron is back with like no explanation.
Again. I mean, the last movie brought him back.
He was a different Transformer because he was altered. But that's besides the point. Like, if you let go of the the previous Transformers, this one's solid on its own. And this one, it's kind of a positive, kind of a negative. Optimus Prime didn't play such a major role in this one. It kind of gave like Bumblebee and also the other side characters time to shine, which is kind of like you get drowned out by Optimus's his speeches or his rally.
Every single movie, like the opening and closing, just like.
But then he does also come in and like also adds to the storyline. I'm like, okay, it wasn't drowned out about Optimus, even though the trailer kind of like promised the whole he's evil now. What are we gonna do? He was only there for like maybe towards the end of the half of the movie. I was like, all right, that was random.
But one of the things I really liked about this movie though was like when I was watching it. It legit felt like I was like back in like the 90s or like early aughts where I was just watching the Transformers cartoons. Like you got a whole bunch of Transformers. They're all just doing their own thing, like fighting and like setting up like whatever like plot points that they needed. And especially like too, like you got like the children and the smaller like side Transformers who like weren't like big enough to fight their own battles, but they were like had their own like they were able to help in their own little ways. And like that's just something I really appreciated when I was watching the movie.
And so for this movie, I'm gonna have to give it a 7. You know, it's a solid movie. It's better than the ones before. It's actually worth your time to watch it. What is your score?
I would give it a 7 too. Just like, especially for those like jumping into the Transformers series, like it's not a bad place to start off because like one you're not dragged down by all the continuity errors that like have bogged it since like the first 4. And so you're able to enjoy it, I would say, a little bit better.
I will say, though, they do leave a lot of open-ended questions for probably what I assume is future installments, so I can only wait to see what happens next. All right, so this has been our review. If you have any other comments, write them down below. If you like it, please like or tell us how we're doing.